When I saw this particular clips of this video, I was like, yeah, this guy is literally on point. And a lot of people also concord with this guy in the comment section. I think this is where the problem is actually coming from. So this video is very important for you to watch as a black person, especially as a black American person, because it is not only educational, but it is an eye-opening to a lot of us to see what we have literally not seen or discovered. Honestly. And I keep saying it in my videos. You see, these white people, they don't just act just because they want to act. They act because something is pushing them to act. Something is telling them, do this, act like this. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. If this is the first time tuning in, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and thank you so much for all the support. Let's watch this video and I'll be back with commentary. And make sure you watch this video as well and let me know your honest truths if this is absolutely correct or not. Let's get right into this.
Black people are an obsession. The world is obsessed with us. It was never hate. It's always been envy. It's always been envy. It was never hate. We thought it was hate this whole time. They don't hate us. They envy us. They want everything we have. They want to be us. They want our demeanor, our swag, our lingo, our abilities, our intellectuality. They want our brain power. Believe it or not, they've convinced us that black people can't read. Black people usually are the dumber ones in the classroom, whatever the case may be. But honestly, that's not true. And a lot of black people have gone on to believe that. So, when you believe that, you don't even try sometimes. That's a whole nother conversation. But they've put certain things not only in black people's minds, but in other people of color's minds around the world. So not only do white people envy us, but other people of color envy us, and then they pass it off as hate, and they discriminate against us and all of that, but do everything that we do. They want to talk like us, they want to walk like us, dance like us, copy our music style, K-pop. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I don't have any hate for none of these people, but my thing is, it's so weird that y'all act like we're the scum of the earth, but copy our every single move, from the way we speak to music to fashion to everything. The fashion world, these big fashion houses, guess what they get their inspiration from? The ghetto, the hood, the streets, hip hop. You get what I'm saying? They get it from all types of black people from every end of the spectrum. They don't actually hate us. Because when you hate somebody and you feel like you're better than somebody or a group of people, you don't copy what they do. You don't mimic what they do. You get what I'm saying? You don't even engage in stuff that's of their culture, of their lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? So it's not hate, it's envy. Y'all ever been in school, and especially when you was younger, and kids would be like, I don't like you, or I don't like her because, and they never have a real explanation. They just say because, and then now y'all fighting and y'all beefing in elementary school, middle school for no reason, when really the basis of that is envy. They want something you have. They want to be you. They want to look like you. Whatever the case may be. On a larger scale, that's the rest of the world to black people. And more specifically, I'm gonna be honest, more specifically, black Americans. That may be a whole nother conversation. And don't get me wrong, black Americans obviously get a lot of stuff directly from Africa. I mean, because we're originally from Africa, so our ways we're literally African American. You know what I'm saying? It's African based regardless, right? But you know what? That's a whole other TikTok. The message I want to send to all my fellow black people out there is, if you ever feel the effects of racism and it kind of gets into your head and makes you subconsciously feel like you are less than, or you feel like, damn, I'm hated because I'm black, or me and my people are hated or looked down on, or looked at like we're just the scum of the earth and we're just bad people by nature or something, remember that it's the total opposite. These people worship us. Honestly, they do. They fake like they don't. They pretend like they hate us, but they copy everything we do. They worship us. They want to be us. We lead them. We lead the pack. We lead the trend in everything. You get what I'm saying? So remember to walk with your head high. I'm not trying to get deep in all that, but to be honest, I need y'all to remember to walk with your head high as a black person, because you literally are what everybody wants to be. You get what I'm saying? And the proof is online. The proof is out in the world. The proof is in everyday life. I'm not just making this shit up. They want to be us. So don't let them get in your head and make them think that they think they're better than you. because they don't think that they know they're not better than you, but they want you to think that, so you don't know who you are and what you have and what we are as black people. You get what I'm saying?
Black Americans aren't racist against anyone. There's not a plurality of Black Americans that agree that one ethnicity or race is less than. But everyone is racist against Black Americans. Asians, East Asians, South Asians, obviously white people, Europeans, Australians, Arabs of the Middle East, or even Northern Africa, Native Americans, Africans. Africans have found a way to be racist against Black Americans, Latin Americans, Dominicans. Why is everyone obsessed with you people? It is so disconcerting. It makes absolutely no sense to me. They steal everything from you. Your language, your music, your style, your food, and then they say none of that exists. That you are a people without a culture. Oh, there must be something real special about you guys if you have the entire world on your ass for nothing. Everyone has a notion of what a Black American is or does. They think they know. Most of these people haven't even met a Black American person in their life. As an Ethiopian American, I've had to work to untangle my identity as an Ethiopian from the real life lived experiences and heritage of foundational Black Americans, because there is a difference. And the more I untangle, the more I just realize how preoccupied the globe is with Black American people. Not me. I'm an Ethiopian American. I'm talking about the descendants of freedmen, the foundational Black Americans, the Solani people, whatever you want to call it.
About jealousy. The jealousy people have for ethnic Black Americans. We were taught that nobody would be jealous of us because we were on the bottom and we didn't have anything to offer. But now that we're delineating and we're starting to pull away and gatekeep our group, we're starting to see that that was absolutely false. Our ethnic group is wealthier than 90% of the world. Probably 95% to be honest, from the sheer fact that we live in America and we have American dollars. You can go to, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of countries and buy land, buy property for pennies of the dollar on the dollar. You can go stay in certain people's hotels for like $100 a month and live decently. If you have $500 a month, you can have maids and servants and things like that. So just by the fact that we are an ethnic group that has been in America for centuries, number one, our American dollar is one of the best currencies in the world, hands down. Nobody can dispute that. Number two, we're one of the most educated ethnic groups in the world. We started being as soon as 1865, which is almost 200 years ago. And even before then, depending on where you lived in America. Slavery was abolished earlier in like Boston and places like that, Massachusetts. We've been educated for several hundred years. Most ethnic groups still are not as well educated as we are, because some people can't even finish the 8th grade. Now, I'm not saying all of us were, but we had HBCUs starting 200 years ago. We had our first licensed doctors and licensed attorneys back in the 1800s. Okay, the first open heart surgery was done by a Black man, an ethnic Black American man. The first open heart surgery in the world. Okay, and this was like in the 1800s. I forgot exactly. I want to say 1847, but don't quote me on that. So not only that, they try to make it seem like we're a small minority. They always say, "Oh, you're only 12% of the world. I mean, the country, 13%." However, they don't tell you that they're using a racial comparison. So they're taking all of the white groups and all of the Hispanic groups and then comparing them to our ethnic Black American group. The reason why I say that is people say, well, immigrants are mixed in, but they've only let 10% of immigrants from African and Caribbean nations. So when they say Black, only 10% of that group of Black are immigrants, whereas Hispanics are all immigrants, and they're morphing together. Mexico and Venezuela and Dominican Republic and Cuba, like everybody who's Hispanic that's here, they're grouping that together. And then every white group that's here, they're grouping them together. For example, you have here as white people, you have German descendants, Italian descendants, Albanian descendants, Ukrainian, all these different groups, and they're grouping them together, and then they're kind of using that to compare it to us. But the number one group white group in America is descended from, I think, Germany and then England. And that's about the same amount of people that we have in our ethnic group. So I think it's about 45 million or 46 million of German descent and English descent of white people in here, if you separate them by their nationalities as well, which compares to our 40 something million as well. So not only that, we're one of America's #1 exports, our music, our sports, our entertainment. And they try to make us feel bad about that too, and being like, oh, all you guys are is excellent at sports, excellent at singing, excellent at music. Well, that's pretty damn good because everybody envies that. And don't ever let them trick you into thinking that they don't. The reason why I'm going to say this is because Germany, Hitler Germany, was doing they hosted the Olympics. And their whole point was to show that Germany was superior to everybody physically. That was very, very important to the Germans to demonstrate that they were physically superior over everybody. And guess who won the gold medals hands down? Was an ethnic Black American. And that's why you see that famous picture. I forgot his name. If you guys know it, please drop it in my comments, where he's holding the fist up, because that was during the 60s and the 70s and the Black Panther movements, showing like, nah, we got this. So, and that was an ethnic Black American who won the gold over Hitler's Germany. So my point of saying this is that a lot of people are very, very competitive with us. That's why they constantly attack us, put us down, and they're obsessed with us. Like they're always wanting to know what we're doing. And so please don't always think that it's always racism or it's always dislike or it's always, oh, they feel superior. A lot of times it's competitiveness and jealousy. And that's why people watch everything we do. When you go to your work or whatever, and you're in your office, like, why are they always in your business? They're in your business because they're competing with you. So we just weren't we competed with each other. Unfortunately, we compete too much with each other. But we're not really, I'm not going to say we're not a competitive group, but we unfortunately compete more with each other than anybody else. And that's good and bad because we don't really care about everybody else like they care about us. Meaning, like, not that we don't care, like we don't care about helping people or anything like that. I'm saying, like, we're not in everybody else's business because we don't care about their business as much as we care about our own. As an ethnic group, we're actually quite interested in ourselves. And only those that are brainwashed and simps for people of color and simps for snow bunnies and snow, I don't want to say, what's the male term for snow bunnies? I don't know. But those people, now you have people who are simps for them because they've been brainwashed and they don't know how great their culture is. My point is that every racist comment sometimes is competition or envy or jealousy, okay? Because there's no reason for people to be this obsessed. So just understand that every person who's anti-Black American, sometimes they're jealous because we are American citizens and we've been here for centuries and we're enmeshed in this country. So everywhere they turn, they hear about us. They're watching our shows. They're watching people talk about us, and there's just jealousy there because they're like, hey, we never got that in our country, or we've been on the bottom, and these people, how do they get TV shows? How do they get businesses? How do they get colleges that are first world, like that are top tier? There's a jealousy there. It's like, how dare they get top tier colleges? How dare they become doctors? Like, how dare that, every time I turn around, I hear them on the radio. I see them on TV. I hear the race that I want to be adjacent to talking about them and hanging out with them. There's a jealousy there, and you guys have to understand that. Like, don't think that it's just racism or just envy, or, I mean, it is envy, but just racism or just like disdain or just dislike. There's a lot of people want to be I don't want to say it because I don't want to get banned. They want to be the non-melanated's pet. They want to be the non-melanated's favorite. And even though they know the non-melanated don't like us, they don't understand why we're always in every aspect of American culture. And they're confused by that because they don't know American history. And so they kind of feel away because they're like, every time they have to get a job, every time they have to get a performance or get a job or anything in America as an ethnic group, they have to follow our trail. They have to follow the civil rights laws that we made possible. They have to, if they're an immigrant from Africa or Caribbean, they have to pretend to be ethnic Black American to get that role most of the time. They have to talk like an ethnic Black American to get that role most of the time. When they go to a job, they have to cosplay and dress more like an ethnic Black America. They can't wear their clothes or anything like that. So there's a lot of resentment that they have to cosplay us, or they have to come behind us and walk in our footsteps in order to progress in this country. And that goes for Asians, that goes for Africans, Caribbeans, Hispanics, or what have you. And it bothers them because they're never 99% of ethnic first in America have been done by us. So it's very rare that they're going to be the first physicist that's an ethnic person, the first attorney that's an ethnic person. In some cases, yes, but in most cases, the first anybody that was non-white in America that did anything in this country was most likely an ethnic Black American, from an astronaut to an engineer to a physicist to a PhD. And I'm not saying in 100% of the cases, but in about 90 to 95% of the cases. And they know that, and they don't like it. So just understand that from the non-melanated to the melanated, there's jealousy and there's envy. The melanated are envious of the things that we're capable of doing after how much strength we have, our talent, how much perseverance and endurance that we have, our story, because they feel like they don't have a story. But we always have a story of how we came to be, and we have depth and we have soul. And so just understand, not everything you see is just racism or anti-Blackness. A lot of times it's jealousy and
Please recognize that a lot of the anti-Blackness directed towards Black Americans from foreign people of color derives from jealousy. See, to be Black American is to be marginalized and disenfranchised, but from a foreign perspective, you're marginalized and disenfranchised in America, which is the best place to be marginalized in, from a foreigner's perspective. I am from a foreign family. I've said this before and it bears repeating. My family is Jamaican. I'm mixed race. I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica, emigrated to the United States when I was 5, and I am now a naturalized citizen. So in addition to growing up and being socialized in America and matriculating through the American public education system and the university system, I have that lived perspective in addition to the lived perspective of being raised by foreigners. Like a lot of the opportunities for advancement, for job placement, for obtaining a formal education that are here in America, that exist in America, are of course taken for granted by American citizens who are born here. These opportunities are unheard of in most parts of the world. For example, in Jamaica, the opportunities for employment, right? You can graduate from high school here in America and literally go work at Target or at the Dollar Tree or go learn a trade or something like that. It's not desirable. It's not what society wants you to do. You know, society says that you should be working in a corporate structure, but the opportunity at least exists. There's also opportunity for obtaining a 4-year college degree through the provision of student loans that are widely available to most eligible individuals, in addition to community college and junior college that's available to folks who wouldn't qualify for federal student loans, but who can work and put themselves through school and pay for tuition out of pocket. Those similar employment and educational opportunities do not exist in places like Jamaica, where you have to be born into a wealthy family to be able to afford a 4-year college degree, because there is no national student loan structure to pay for a university degree. There aren't as many places for employment that don't exist outside of like a hospital or the tourism industry, or if you're not related to a family member who works in like the HR department or the hiring department for a particular place of employment. For example, how I, as an American citizen, can walk into a Costco or a Walmart or a Target or something and be hired based on, you know, my experience or based on my knowledge or what have you. Those places don't exist in Jamaica. So being able to just walk into somewhere with a piece of paper and the ability to work and find that work, that itself, that opportunity is non-existent in most places in the world. So understand that foreign people of color who live in these places where opportunity is few and far between, unless you're born into the moneyed class or unless you're born into the noble class, look at Black Americans living in America and are envious and are jealous. And their thing is, well, what are you complaining about? You don't know anything about marginalization or what it truly means to be dispossessed or what it really means to be oppressed, because you're in America. You have all these opportunities, you have all these chances, you have justice, you have laws and discrimination laws that protect you. Those things don't exist where I'm coming from. So what's the big deal with you? And again, it's envy because, yeah, you're marginalized, but you're marginalized in America where you have a right to legal advice. You have a right to a speedy and fair trial. You have a right to be protected from unreasonable government search and seizure. You have discrimination laws that protect you. You know what I mean? Like, you have all of these things that protect you that you're just born into just by accident of birth that I don't have in my own country. Mix that envy and jealousy in with the existing anti-blackness that pervades almost every society on the planet, and boom, you have activists and the Palestinian liberation movement being anti-black and racist towards Black Americans. For my Black American brothers and sisters, understand that that's where a lot of the antipathy from other foreign people of color comes from. It's nothing, its basis is in jealousy and envy, and even though that sounds like an oversimplification, I promise you it's not. Again, I grew up in a foreign family, being raised by foreigners, living here in America, while at home I was being socialized as a foreigner, and then in public society and public schools that I was attending and jobs that I held, I was being socialized in American. As an American, I can tell you that perspective that I'm speaking from is absolutely valid. And one last thing, another perspective to add to this is that when you come to America as a foreigner, in addition to fighting white supremacy, in addition to fighting poverty, now you're fighting xenophobia, right? Now you're fighting the immigration system and having to spend tens of thousands of dollars, if you have it, and years matriculating through the immigration system in the US. Foreigners like myself who have to deal with the United States Center for Immigration Services, who have to worry about ICE, who have to worry about whether their green card needs to be renewed, who have to pay for the exorbitant fees that it costs to apply for citizenship, because citizenship is not automatically granted to folks just because you live here for X amount of years. It is something that you have to apply for. It costs thousands of dollars, and it takes years for your application to process. It's not an immediate, yes, congratulations, you're now a US citizen. They have to go through your entire immigration record from the very date you set foot on US soil to determine whether or not you're even eligible to be a US citizen. And all while that process is ongoing, you are experiencing xenophobia, you are experiencing struggling with your dual identity. On the one hand, you're not fully American, so you're not quite in with American crowds, but on the other hand, your family and your immediate network don't view you as being a full native of the homeland either, because now you live in America and you grew up here and you've been socialized here. So you struggle with those identity complexes and whatnot, all while you're waiting for the US government to turn around and say, okay, yeah, you can be here forever now, basically. My mom raised my sister and I while my mom and I were undocumented immigrants. My sister was born here, thank God, but my mom and I were undocumented immigrants for 15 years. Not because we came here illegally, not because we came here, you know, by subverting the process. We arrived with visas. My mother was married to my father, who was a Jamaican national, who was also a US citizen. So this process wasn't because of any of our own doing. We came here, lived an upper middle class lifestyle, and came from the upper class of Jamaican society, and yet and still we still struggled. So for my Black American brothers and sisters, add all of those nuances to not explain away or to justify the racism and the anti-blackness that we're seeing from foreign communities of color, but to explain it so that you understand where it's coming from. Foreign people of color are deeply envious of Black Americans and the privileges and the liberties Black Americans seemingly have here in the United States. And yes, they full well know that those privileges are always at risk of being taken away by white patriarchal structures, because these foreign communities of color are subject to those same structures abroad. They know that. The issue is that unlike Black Americans, they don't have the balls to stand up to those patriarchal structures. And that's another element of the envy. Something that my Black American friends have taught me, a phrase that I carry with me everywhere, is that closed mouths don't get fed. Black Americans fully understand that and have understood that from day one, which is why Black Americans were marching, protesting, boycotting, burning down slave plantations, making speeches until rights that where they should have been born with were given to them almost by force. Black Americans were not afraid to stand up to white patriarchal structures and white supremacy, and still today stand up to white supremacy in ways that foreign communities of color are just too afraid to do. And those foreign communities of color are also envious of Black Americans' bravery for standing up to white supremacist structures, and then in turn being rewarded with rights and liberties for standing up to those structures. Unfortunately, this is all just another version of high school. It's all just another version of schoolyard bullying, and foreign people of color are just very deeply envious and jealous of the privileges they think Black Americans have in the United States and how Black Americans are born into those privileges, and also the ballsy bravery and courage that Black Americans have in demanding that those privileges, those rights, those liberties stay in place.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. You guys can literally see, I've been saying it before that if you like something, if you admire something, you are going to complain to tell the person that, oh, I admire this thing, I love what you're doing, I support this energy, and so on and so forth, right? But these people don't admire. These people are not only obsessed, as these clips that you guys have watched has literally said, but they are highly jealous. They are highly, like, it is deep inside to the point that at some point they don't even know how to express their jealousy, because you are going to see their jealousy, sorry guys, coming one on one. I did a particular video, I don't know if you guys have literally seen that video, where this white guy was literally jealous of a black man for buying a car worth over $100,000, tagging it and claiming that he has been literally working all his acts out all these years, but still he has not been able to achieve that particular type of car. How was the man able to achieve it? Why was he able to achieve it? Who even gave him the just a lot of nonsense? And when you watch that video, I don't know if you guys have watched that video, let me know, because I've uploaded it on my channel before this one. When you watch that video, you know that it is pure jealousy. It is pure jealousy. It is pure evil, because jealousy is evil as far as I'm concerned. And I'll keep saying it. That is why it looks more like a lot of black folks are making it, are breaking through, are breaking forth more than some of these white folks. Because we don't jealous, we don't envy, we only like, applaud, and look out for how we are going to make our own. Like I said in that video as well, I said we have some white men in African countries that are doing well, driving good cars, living in very big mansions, even to the company that my husband is working, right? But we don't see it as anything. We see it as it is his time, it is his own, let him shine. Let's also go hustle for our money. So the obsession, the jealousy is so high that even when they see that a black man is fit to do this job 100%, they will choose to deny that black man that job and literally want to put their own that is not even worth it. The same thing that is keeping America in the stage where it is today. Because they feel like a black person don't need to come and rule them. Oh my God, why must he be a black person? No problem. Let's choose the person with our skin color. And the person started by imputing tariffs. He started by whooping their ass. He started by deportation. He started by taking what literally belongs to them that is supposed to make them happy, taking it out of them one after the other. And now they are regretting, they are coming out crying, oh, black people save us. Latinos will come out to cry, Asians will come out to cry, Hispanics will come out to cry, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they have seen that the glory of a black man cannot be dim. It can never be dim. You can't beat it. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments. And lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And this video is just for educational purposes. Let it be heard that I said it. With that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos. I'm going to be saying that. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah. Keep shining.